We're back online now, and I want to talk about. Well, I'm going to bring this up. We're going to talk about CWL Sydney. It's a pretty average event, but I'm going to go over it. I didn't really want to do it, and it's a little bit late, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go over pretty much series by series, try and explain what happened. I'm going to start from the beginning though. This was before the LAN event. Obviously, I joined Chiefs. The roster was me, Lakey, Fate, and Dean. I pretty much joined Chiefs a week and a half out from the LAN. We had a few days practice and then a 2K. The 2K went really well for us. We won it. Even though I don't actually think that we should have, not only just like online bullshit, but we went up against Tainted Minds in the grand final, and it went like game 5, and I had like a map that and like dropped so many kills that I will never ever do again in my career, most likely. And that was pretty much the reason why we won it. So we won the 2K. Going into the LAN event, we only had one game on the first day, and that was against Rampage, which was, I think, the second best Asian team. Pretty much, I have the map scores up here. Pretty much the first map was Hardpoint Breakout. It's like our strongest map by far. We beat them 250 to 51. It was a pretty good warm-up game. Crusher S&D 6-1 and Precinct uplink 16-0. Even though their uplink is like a 16-0 score, they came very close to like gaining a lot of control, and they just didn't capitalize on it due to the experience. That pretty much like was our first pool play game, and that was our only pool play game that was streamed. We won our pool 3-0. I think there were only 4 teams in pools. Pretty much we played Validate Red in our pool, and that was like surprisingly a blowout. Going into the next day, we're starting on Saturday. Our first game was against Prodigy. Now Prodigy's lineup was Hopi, Scrism, Killer Pie, and Gydra. This was a major like rivalry, grudge match, etc. Not only because of me replacing Hopi and shit like that, but just overall, I had left that team pretty much to join Chiefs, and they really wanted to beat us, and it started out really well in their favor. To be honest, the first map, once again I have the scores up. No, I don't actually. The first map, we were up by so much, by like 100 points, and we just choked. We threw that game away. They capitalized on it so well. Hopi and Scrism just went off their fucking nips. They ended up taking it out. Little bit of banter and trash talk from them on the first map, but the remaining 3 we shut them up and sent them into the loser bracket. Our next game was our toughest game of the whole entire event. We took on the winners of Sydney, which was Mindfreak. After we beat them 3-1 in the 2K the week before, we had a lot of confidence going in, but the way that we played the game was just completely different. I feel like we played a lot slower, nowhere near as fast, nowhere near as confident, and it really showed. I mean, they took out the first map 250 to 41. S&D was 6-1 as a blowout. Our closest was pretty much Precinct uplink, but even then that wasn't really that close. We only got 2 points right in the end minute because of my camo. So they 3-0'd us, and that was like a really big shock. We realized instantly that we messed up, that we weren't playing the same way or nowhere near as good as we could, and that really annoyed us, but we tried to brush it off and just have a relaxing Saturday night, kick back, come back fresh on the Sunday. Our first Sunday match was against Validate Red. I couldn't find any like stream shit on this game, not from the MRG COD YouTube anyway, but the series score was 3-1. They beat us on the first map, which was a hardpoint. It's really weird how our hardpoint was at LAN. Like, our hardpoint was really strong online, I felt. It was like one of our strongest game modes, especially depending on the map. And we had Throwback against them, which was one of our, I guess you could say, weaker maps. And they took us out on it. It was like really, really close. I think like Setsi or someone just went absolutely off in the end of the map. They took that out, and then we pretty much rinsed them in the final 3 maps. It's pretty much secured us a top 4 position. Now, before I go into the next match, us going into this LAN event, we needed to win in order to get first place in pro points, or even like second place in pro points, so we qualified for Dallas. So we were really gunning for a win. We put so much effort and so much passion into all of our games, and so we're expecting T1 and then like T3 on our worst day, and this was our worst day. We would go up against Validate Black, which was pretty much the old EX squad. They take us out 3-0. This was our closest series out of all of them. They took us out 3 maps, so like it wasn't really close map count wise, but I mean all the maps pretty close. The hardpoint retaliation, I believe we actually had the lead for the majority of that game, and then once again we got comebacked on. So they take that out 250-80. The hardpoint Scorch, S&D Scorch, they win 6-5. We really like screwed up our specialists, and we had all of our specialists in the round 11, and we just absolutely messed up. I camoed, I got 1 kill, and then I got 1 kill in middle, and then got traded instantly, and then there was like nothing there. I think Jake also used his armor, and then the remaining 2 like clutched a 2v2 against Lakey and Dean. So that was that, and then the hardpoint, uplink throwback. Dean went absolutely off. He carried us through that map 100%. We were always on the back foot though, always trapped in our base. Couldn't really get much going for us. What happened on that map was, they outplayed us for the majority. It was well played to them. But coming into like the final minute, we started to get like a little bit of, we had it going for us. We're getting kills, we're getting map control, etc., etc. They pushed the ball into our base, and we killed them. And when they threw the ball down as we were killing them, the ball got stuck in one of the buildings, and it was like stuck under the building for 10 seconds to 15 seconds on like the field side of throwback, and we couldn't pick it up. So we're like sitting here trying to shoot the ball out of the wall, and then it finally resets. So not only do we have to rotate from our base, we have to rotate back to middle. This is with like 30 seconds left of the game. So I think it was me and Lakey rotated through middle while Dean and Fate pushed up right side. And we managed to get the ball right side. But by the time we got to the wall run, they had already spawned up and rotated back. And they'd killed Fate and Dean, and we weren't able to get the 1-pointer off. If the game wasn't as glitchy and the ball didn't get stuck, we could have. But who knows? I was playing pretty bad that game, and as well, like if I had my camo, then that would have been a different story. But well played to Validate Black. That put us in 4th place. It was really disappointing. We were really angry with ourselves. Nowhere near what we expected, especially after such a successful 2K win. And that pretty much sparked like a lot of conversation after the LAN event. Pretty much what we wanted to do. We had a league match, a CG league match on the following Tuesday, I think. And we got the forfeit win for that. And then after that, we pretty much sat down and we just laid it out and like what we wanted to do. I had made it pretty clear that I wanted to make roster changes. I wanted to try and get Swifty for Lakey. And that's when like I was notified that Swifty and Scrism were like a duo, and they were wanting to pick up Dean and one other. So Dean pretty much said that that's what he was interested in. That's what he did. I was fine with that. Going forward, I still wanted to stick with Fate, and we were just seeing like what the new Chiefs team were going to do with their 4th, and they ended up picking up Killer Pie. So now we've got the new roster of me, Fate, Chilean, and Buckerbeck. This is like 3/4 of my squad last year, so I'm actually excited and really enjoying playing with them again. I did enjoy playing with them last year, pretty much up until the time that Jai joined the team, to be honest. Like, it was all fun, even though we were in like a massive slump. But yeah, that's the squad now. We're grinding out for stage 2. We got CG LAN in 2 weeks, got CWL Sydney in 6 or 7 weeks, and then potentially another event later on. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just wanted to touch on the topic. Love you all for the support. Peace.